Hi everybody. I'm just changing the brake discs on the single-seater. These are going to be changed for some new items. I'll just show you the brake disc at the moment. It's on the car. It's held in place with a series of these called bobbins, and the disc basically float on the bobbins. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in total, and the idea is that you remove the the bolt from the back. There's the next one there. See it? Undo that with the socket, and then once that's undone, you take the brake caliper off just there, and then once the brake caliper's off, the discs very simply just rotate until these holes here are in line with these peaks here. So it goes like a fraction of a turn, and then the disc just comes off. So they're designed to be replaced very quickly. So what I'm doing now is I'm just freeing off all the bolts, because they're all quite old, and a lot of them they just rust in the back of the bobbins. And the bobbins are replaceable. I've got some spares. I've actually got some stainless steel bolts on order, so when I put it all back together again I shouldn't have any more corrosion. And then the idea is, if at an event and I have I discover something, I've got a cracked disc for example, then I can just very quickly remove the 8 bolts, pop the bobbins out, take the caliper off, rotate the disc, take the disc off, put the new one on, and away we go. So I'm going to have a go now at removing the next bolt head. I just rotate it round here, you'll see it in a second. So that one just there. Basically just take the socket on it, and then put a bit of pressure, and there it goes. Now what I need to do is just undo the bolt. The bobbin will then just drop out, and then that's all been removed. The next job then is just to undo the 2 bolts that hold the caliper in place, and then the disc can come off. There's the bolt. The disc's almost loose now. So the next job is get the Allen key and take the caliper off. So what we're doing now is we're taking the caliper off. There's just 2 bolts to take the caliper off, and they're quite tight usually. Oh crikey, yeah, that's not been taken off for quite some time. Let's move that out of the way. There we go. Just got to take that off there, and then they should spin under a second once they've been through a few rotations. I think I put a thread lock on them last time I had them off. And then once they're both removed, the caliper then just falls off. I just need to rest it on a block of wood or a diffuser floor just to stop it from putting any strain on the brake pipe. So I'll just get a box. There's a box, repeater style. It's one I made earlier. Take the second one out, and then they're both, there we go, it's done. Just rest that down there so it can't get any further, and now we can take the disc off. This is how you take the disc off. So once it's off all the bobbins, you just rotate it round until it slides on and off, and that's it. There's a Formula Ford disc. Got the new ones. I'll just give this an inspection before I put it back. There's some very fine cracks in the surface. There's really nothing to worry about. It's just from the heat. Looks okay. Doesn't look too bad at all actually, considering that's been on the car since 2014 I think it is. Looks alright. Bit of blue, but blue's alright, just shows it's got a bit warm. Yeah, maybe no serious problems with that. And then there's your hub. Hubs are manufactured by Mygale in France. These are what they call the disc bells. It's got a load of troughs in it, so basically the disc can be fitted, turned, bobbins go back through, put the bolts in, and we're done. So you can probably do this in minutes if you were rehearsed enough and everything was freed off. While it's off, I'll give it a quick clean. So I'll give the hub a good clean. This is just brake dust. That's some degreaser. Get rid of over the old brake dust. Give it a good clean. Put it all back together again. It's a great spray. I get it from Radio Spares. It's about a £5 a can, but it's absolutely brilliant at removing grease and dirt and just making it look a little bit more loved. The idea is to have a clean car that's been looked after at an event, so then you don't really have to do any work on it. There's no play at all in the bearing. Absolutely perfect. Some of these cars are fitted with ceramic bearings. I've never seen a ceramic bearing. Apparently they're less friction than the steel bearings. This one's got steel ones in it apparently. If you want to fit ceramics, they're a bit of a job to take everything apart and get them on, so obviously can't be bothered. But I know that some of the teams did when they were raced in the Formula Ford Championship. Everything for that little edge over your competitors. Right, a bit more spray down there. Just let that soak in for a minute. I'll just get a brush actually and just work it in. There we go. It's just brake dust. It should come off quite easy. It shouldn't penetrate the aluminium. It usually cleans off with a. See, it's all black up there. It's like painting the whole thing black now. Look at this. Can't have that, can we? Can't have a dirty car, for goodness sake. Right. Let's give it a clean. It's looking better. Half the trick with the stuff I do is to get through scrutineering without any attention from the scrutineers. These days it's all self-scrutineering because of the COVID pandemic. We usually get a group of officials from Motorsport UK come and have a look at your car, and they look at the life of the seat belts, make sure everything's in date, and they give it a prod and a kick. But I think if you spend a little bit of time just making the car clean and respectable, you generally don't get their attention. And always make a beeline for the dirty cars, the cars that don't look like anyone's taken a spanner over them for 2 or 3 years. There's usually something wrong with a car that's not been looked after or maintained, because these cars do wear out. They don't get a lot of use, they don't give a huge mileage, but they are under a lot of strain. I mean, this is making 375 horsepower, so there's a lot of potential for things to wear. You just need to keep your eye on things and do a spanner check after every meeting, make sure that the basics are all good. Right, now that's done, I'll put the disc back on again. Right, this looks okay to me. I'm going to give it a quick wipe. Let's put it back on again. This is what I was saying, it slots over, and what you do is you get these steel bobbins, and they basically fit through from the front. Just drop in the hole, and then they slightly larger holes in the disc, then locates it on the bobbins, and there's 8 of them all together. They are pretty fiddly to put back together. I think if you're in a hurry, they probably only fit 4. I think obviously you're supposed to have 8. I won't run without 8, but I can imagine some teams in a hurry have probably just gone out with 4 of these in. So the bobbin goes in, you then take the rather rusty looking bolt, put it back through from the rear, do it up, and when all 8 are done, you can then just do them up hand tight. I wouldn't torque them. They're only M5. You're going to risk breaking them if you put too much torque through them. And the fiddly bit now is to get back in again. I've got some stainless steel fasteners coming, so what I'll do is I'll just do all these finger tight, and then when the stainless steel ones come in the post tomorrow, I'll change them all over and then make sure that they're tight. The idea of putting stainless ones in is it's just to stop them from going rusty, just to make it easy for you to get them out if you need to in a hurry. That is basically it. That's a Formula Ford brake system on these cars. Really clever, very, very, very well engineered.